Hi. So it's 10th grade, and my friend Dan Kasuma and I are heading into town to meet the twins. The twins who are these impossibly cute girls who are implausibly in love with us. And I say impossible and implausible because these girls didn't actually exist. We invented them out of our own imagination because we just sat through this assembly about the power of positive thinking. And so we decided to take this to the most immediate, useful, and ultimate test and see whether, if we believe in these girls so much, that will they be there in town. You know, believe in them so much that when we show up at the library where we've agreed to meet them, they will look up at us, and not only will they not be surprised to see us, they will say, "Oh my God, we were afraid you weren't going to show up." Nothing else was working insofar as meeting girls, which wasn't surprising because both of us were terrified of talking to girls. So none had come up to us and professed their love. So we were going with our fallback plan, which was to invent girls and see if we had any better luck with them. So we head into town on a Wednesday, the appointed time to meet them. And, well, you can imagine how surprised we were to find that there they were in the library. They weren't twins, but they were sisters. And though I asked the universe that there should be love in the air between us, I was surprised to find that there was, that I was actually already in love with one of them. 2 years earlier, I had spent the summer taking a sailing class. My parents had had this brief phase where they flirted with the idea that I should become a master and commander of the high seas. And so the only sailing class that was available to us, though, was in this small cove along Long Island Sound where, like, you could only sail sunfishes, you know? So that's what I did for the whole summer. And, like, sunfishes take 5 minutes to learn how to sail and 10 minutes to master, which I left the whole rest of the summer to try and figure out how to deal with the fact that I'd fallen in love with one of these other girls in my class. This girl looked just like Karen Allen from Raiders of the Lost Ark. And because I sort of fancied myself a young Indiana Jones, minus the self-confidence and the whip, I thought that actually we should hit it off, you know? And what's more, that like, because of the way the class was structured, we'd be stuck out on a boat, like out in the ocean, alone, where we would have to speak to each other. And these conversations seemed good, enjoyable. She seemed to like them. And what's more, she didn't seem to mind that whenever there was a lull in the conversation, I would be sort of spastically compelled to jump up on the mast and tip over our boat, capsizing us. But she'd always emerge back up from the water laughing, and I was like, oh my God, if there's a girl that can deal with this particularly annoying nervous tick, then like that's the girl for me. I had these great fantasies of us like getting shipwrecked, you know? I mean, this was back in the 80s, so surely there were still undiscovered parts of Long Island Sound, you know? And then we'd be surviving on like washed up boxes of Entenmann cookies from Greenwich and whatnot. And after several months, when we'd finally be found, there'd be no doubt that we were now boyfriend and girlfriend. But the summer ended, and we didn't get shipwrecked, and I didn't see her again until right now in the library. And I said, Dan, I know her. He said, yes, I know. I said, no, really, I'm not doing this. I know. Well, you've got to talk to her. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to talk to her. Which meant that I had to talk to her, which, okay, I was afraid to talk to girls, but also I was afraid to talk to her and say something like buffoonish and shatter that magical summer that we had 2 summers ago. But I have to talk to her. Dan's there, and we walk up, and I can't remember what I said, but hey, she remembered me, and she seemed happy to see me, and I know that by the end of the short conversation, I suggested we hang out. And she agreed. So this now meant that I had to call her. And I had never, ever spoken to a girl my age on the telephone before. I had never been on a date nor asked a girl on a date. And I had no idea what we could possibly do on a date that wasn't terribly awkward, you know? And what's more, I had so many conditions I put on what I could do on this date, because I didn't want anyone in my family to know that I was going on a date. So that meant like every weeknight was out, because they would wonder where I was. So Saturdays also out. And because I didn't drive and I wasn't going to have my mother drive me to a date, that meant I had to be like in a 1 mile perimeter around my house. So when I finally called her, on my rotary phone, and like, rotary phones are great because as that number goes, spins back, gives you lots of time to think, and hang up and start again. Finally, I got through to her, and she, I knew it was lame. It was so lame, but it was the only thing I could think of. I invited her to go to lunch on Sunday. So lame, I knew it, but I was like, it's the only way. And so when church happened that Sunday, I told my family afterwards, I'm going for a walk. Which was weird, I didn't go for walks. And I walked into the Mug and Ale, where I agreed to meet her, where neither of us were old enough to have a Mug and Ale. And I was hoping that once we sat down, once we had the menus in our hands, that like, if I had done all the right things, if I did everything right, that nature would take its course. But of course the problem was that nature did, and my nature was that I was terrified of speaking to girls. And so all of a sudden, I had nothing to say to her. And I was sitting there holding my menu, being like, think, man, think, talk about something. And the only thing that kept coming out of my mouth whenever there was a lull in the conversation was telling her about the book I was reading, which I knew was a boring topic. I was reading David Copperfield by Charles Dickens. It's a thick book with lots of subplots and characters. By the end of the lunch, she knew about them all. I was hating myself. I was like, stop talking about Charles Dickens. I couldn't think of anything else. It was like my modern day version of jumping up and capsizing the conversation, but it's so much less cute. The date ended, I walked home, and trying to like shake off that date, and it didn't happen. Nobody in my family knows, none of my friends know, But these stories, they're there somewhere in the background, and I still have never taken a girl out to a restaurant on a first date. And still, whenever I see Raiders of the Lost Ark, I just get melancholy, thinking, what could have been, But it was easy. It was easy to never tell anyone this story until now, Because even my friend Dan Kasuma, when he asked me, so did you call her? I said, no. He said, why not? We asked the universe, they was there. You have to follow through. I said, Dan, that wasn't what I wanted. He said, what do you mean? What did you want? I said, Dan, we asked for twins.